Hello everyone! The second part of Boom's 70th episode has been released just a few days ago, and it was a crazy ride. This episode gave me so much material to think through that I decided to dedicate a separate video to all the theories and predictions that I've got about it. So today, I am going to show you the craziest theories that I have about the future of this series. And I'm about to answer the most anticipated questions as well. What is the true nature of TV men? And what do they have in store for us? What can be found inside of two books seemingly dedicated to them? And how did skibidi scientist and astro toilets get connected? And the most important thing is, how did Boom himself get involved in all of this? Get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because this is going to be really interesting. Let's go! And first and foremost thing that I would like to discuss is, of course, the phenomenon of TV men. Now guys, let me clarify something right on the shore. I know that has sort of became a meme already, how I always used to suspect something treacherous about TV men and how they could turn out to be betrayers in the end. And it seemed like I always got to be wrong episode after episode, where TV men were proving themselves to be quite useful, smart, and helpful towards the Alliance, despite some minor issues from time to time. For instance, let's remember episode 43, where a bunch of TV men just turned away and teleported from the upcoming battle, leaving the squad of cameramen all alone before the reinforcements came. Or episode 49, where, despite the fact that TV woman actually saved POV cameramen, TV men also left earlier from the battle with several more enemies left alive, and where we could hear one TV man say to TV woman it's time to leave in the process. But in spite of such trivial matters, TV men also proved quite a lot of time how they are actually the most useful allies of the Alliance due to their immaculate abilities and technical advantages. Plus, let's not forget about the impact of Titan TV Man, who is considered to be the strongest Titan amidst all three at the moment. And yet, however, I really feel like by the second part of episode 70, I'm seeing a real chance for my old theory to prove to be true. I mean, it could seem ridiculous, but man, what if that's actually possible? We have already experienced a surprise comeback of the sewn-mouthed Skibidi from episode 42, so it looks like Boom is really up to making sudden pranks right now. And now, when the TV men being traitors thing is being settled in advance by me, let me share my improved theory on them now with you. So, aside from two books with the sign of TV set on their covers, there was also another detail in this episode that left me in quite a restless state of mind. Do you guys remember how, in the end of this episode, both POV Plunger Man and the Black Speaker Man smashed the glasses of the protective glass cages and got the newest equipment for themselves there, including the most recent version of protective earphones and upgraded jetpacks? At the moment, I got to be pretty confused about this, and let me explain why. This kind of equipment seemed to be really fresh to me, as if it was just created by the cameraman scientists in the Alliance's laboratory, because those upgrades came to the soldiers of the Alliance forces right in the battlefield in the end of episode 69. And it happened the same way how Titan Speakerman got his flying speaker upgrades nice and steaming, so to speak. So the fact that the same type of equipment could be already found in the secret room in the Skibidi bunker raised one big important question of mine. How the hell did the newest equipment for the Alliance members get to the Skibidi so early, if it wasn't even used in the battle against them yet? And now, only one possible answer is occurring to me, and I think you can already guess what it might be. A betrayal. And its source may be no other than TV men. Why, you ask me? Well, because that's obviously what Boom seems to be hinting us to. Just think about it. We didn't see a single piece of equipment belonging to TV men's race, no TV set or piece of clothing. The only thing connected to them were the cover images of two anciently looking books indicating to TV men. And I have a separate theory about these books, which I'll tell you a bit later. So watch this video to the end, not to miss anything important. So based on those observations, I can draw the following conclusion. TV men either might have been the double agents all along, sharing the secret information about the Alliance's inventions with the skibidi scientist, or they started as the Alliance's allies at first, but then switched sides for the reason that is yet unknown to us as viewers. Because if you remember, the similar kind of thing happened to astro toilets, who didn't really switch sides, but simply isolated themselves both from the Skibidi army and the Alliance forces, because they apparently got disappointed in their former associates. What if the similar thing could have happened to the race of TV men as well? And by the way, it's not going to be the last time when I'll mention the Astro Toilet's fraction, but I'll tell you more about it a bit later. So, I have this theory about how the newest equipment for the Alliance got to appear in the Skibidi bunker already. What if all those upgrades that the soldiers of the Alliance forces have got in the end of episode 69 were not created by cameraman scientists, but skibidi scientists instead, and TV men or some other traitorous figures helped switching the upgrades up? So instead of the actual upgrades from the cameramen's lab, the Alliance soldiers have got the replicas produced by skibidi scientists? That would explain the placement of those earphones and a jetpack that 2 of our infiltration squad survivors have got. And also, this leads me to another suggestion that I have about the jetpack here. What if the fuel inside of its turbines contains an explosive power? Because as we know, skibidi sure as heck love acid and explosive things. So, what if the Skibidi army's plane goes like this? When the soldiers of the Alliance who are fully equipped with those latest pseudo-upgrades will come closer to the Skibidi main base, then someone responsible for those explosives inside of the jetpacks will press a certain button, and the whole Alliance combat force will get into huge trouble. And also, I saw how a lot of you guys mentioned in my comment section under my analysis of the second part of episode 70, that you expect somebody other than TV men turn out to be a traitor. And your guy's answer actually hit me to the bone because you said the name of Simp Cameraman. And oh my god, the more I'm thinking about it now, the more sense it actually makes. He also could have been the one who would leak the exclusive Alliance information to the Skibidi army representatives, and he could have a pretty good reason for doing it because in case you guys have already forgotten, in the second part of episode 57, Simp Cameraman had been betrayed by the love of his life, TV woman, who chose to save Plungerman from the battlefield while leaving Simp Cameraman to suffer from his injuries alone. What if Skibidi picked up his lifeless body while clearing up the battlefield afterwards and revived him the way cameraman scientists revived Mecha Scientist Cameraman? And thus, he shared all the info he had about the Alliance technical advances and advantages that he saw in the cameraman lab with Skibidi. And that's how this newest equipment was either created from the scratch or replicated by their scientists. Plus, this whole new possible plot arc gets aligned with the TV men theme as well, because this guy had been betrayed by no other than TV woman. Now, let's get back to the books with the images of TV men's sets on their covers. And I have 2 theories about them here. The first one is that in case my theory about TV men being traitors towards the Alliance this time comes out to be true, then these books must be some sort of pact documents, which goal is to establish a certain plan of actions between the Skibidi army and the race of TV men. But I doubt this version a bit, because these 2 folios seemed way too thick and heavy to be just some documents on the conclusion of the Union, even if those were full of the slightest details and stuff like this. So I also have another theory about them. What if TV men aren't traitors after all, but the most dangerous and unpredictable species for the Skibidi scientists, impossible to be completely beaten or even tracked? That's why the secret room in the main Skibidi laboratory has none of the pieces of equipment or TV sets belonging to TV men. Maybe it's due to how powerful and elusive TV men are, and the books that have been lying on the table near Boom's picture were containing all the possible knowledge that Skibidi had on TV men so far. But in this case, one question remains though. Why didn't the white terracotta cameraman want to even open one of these books and check out its content? Maybe he thought they didn't have enough time for that. I don't really know. And by the way, as we started speaking about Boom already, let's move to the next theory that I have. In the comments below my analysis of the second part of the 70th episode, you guys wrote me a lot that the person that Boom is shaking hands with in this picture is no other than male_07 from the multiverse of Beatbox. So I checked this information and found out that you all were actually correct, so thank you guys for that. I really appreciate how smart my community is. In case you don't really remember, male_07's face became a prototype for the very first Skibidi that we saw in the first episode of this series. So I can make a conclusion that male_07 was the very first human being that got to be turned out into the skibiditoilet, and the rest would follow him. And as you can remember from the multiverse of Beatbox, unlike male_09, male_07 was quite interested in putting the whole world into chaos, so probably he shaking hands with Boom in this picture would mean that those two were actually responsible for the creation of the concept of skibidi toilets. and that's why the scientists on their sides looked pretty unhappy. What if they sort of expected something to go wrong? And it seems like they were right in the end, and the world has been sunk in the complete chaotic disaster now. So what if Boom was the first person responsible for all this worldwide madness? And now he decided to sort of switch sides in order to compensate all the evil that he had made with something good. So that's how he would turn into the secret agent helping the Alliance from the shadows. What if he tries to turn back some of the ill consequences of his past actions while pursuing his own goals? That would seem really cool to me. Besides that, I also have plenty of thoughts on the connection between Astro Toilets and Skibidi, as well as the inspirations that Boom might have possibly taken from both the Multiverse by Dom Studios channel and Skibidi Wars by Verlance. But there was so much information that I decided to make a separate video dedicated to this. So be sure to subscribe to my channel not to miss my new videos while you're waiting for the third part of episode 70 to get released. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, hit the like button below and also be sure to write a comment. And that was me, Iso Toilet. See ya!